afternoon, Broncos, and welcome to this edition of Inside Broncos Sports. I'm Peyton Scott.
And I'm Eden Jones. Let's get right into it, starting with UCO baseball.
The Central baseball team is halfway through the season and is competing aggressively against all competition. This past weekend, the Broncos took on Pitt State, falling in the series 1-2. Junior infielder Jaden Parsons is leading the team offensively with an average of .359 with 42 hits and 21 RBIs. Sophomore pitcher James Wimbald is leading pitching statistics with an ERA of 6.29 with a total of 34.1 innings pitched. The Broncos take on Oklahoma Christian Tuesday for an away game before returning home for a 3-day series against Washburn on Thursday.
And UCO softball is dominating their season and is on a current 5-game winning streak after sweeping both Southern Nazarene and Newman this past week. Last week, both Shayla Harper and JC Minter were named to the NFCA Player/Pitcher of the Year watch list. Harper has a current slugging percentage of .789 and was recently recognized as D2's Hitter of the Week. Minter was honored last year with the All-American Award after finishing season batting a .400 batting average. The Broncos have 4 home games this weekend, 2 against Lincoln and 2 against Central Missouri at the Jerry Pinkston Stadium. And our own Brooke Niver spoke to a player on the team. Brooke?
Thanks, Eden. I had the opportunity to interview Amelia Huggins on the UCO softball team about her softball career. Let's take a look.
My name is Amelia Huggins, and I'm a senior on the softball team. My softball career started when I was in elementary school. I started in a rec league at UConn. I got a flyer through my school, and so I started a rec league, liked it a lot, went to competitive at Del City, and then just from there started going competitive ball every summer, every winter, every fall, every spring, and then through middle school, high school, and now I'm here. I love softball. I spent every day playing softball. It's always just been something I enjoyed, and I knew it was a pathway to college. I don't think I could have afforded college without softball as well. So it was just a way to get into college and get my degree and make it a little bit easier on my dad. My freshman year experience was not the best experience. I think mentally I was in a really, really bad place, and I knew I wanted to come home and be in this area. UCO at the time was ranked #1 in the country. I knew basically everybody that was here. I played with a lot of the girls that were here. And so it was just kind of an easy transition to come here. The biggest impact I would say would definitely be my teammates. Like I said, my freshman year, I didn't have a very good year. I don't think my sophomore year here or my second sophomore year here was really at the best time either. Again, mentally I just wasn't super okay. I was a little bit of a troublemaker on the team, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't the best teammate, but my teammates and my coaches stuck with me through all those rough patches and helped guide me to where I needed to be. And now I think I am a leader on the team, I'm a leader on campus, and honestly, without my coaches and my teammates sticking by my side through all of those rough patches, I would not be where I'm at today. My dad raised me to be a leader, my dad raised me to be independent, my dad raised me to be kind of a straight up kind of person. So I think it's just kind of who I am a little bit, how I was raised. Because like I said, you come to UCO and we're a top 10 program. You come here and you play hard and fast and you get a good winning experience in softball life. But honestly, you come here and you meet the best teammates. The reason we're one of the best teams is because of our culture we build here. And that culture is open communication and open and honesty and all of that, integrity and stuff, and it really shapes you into a better human being. It helps you grow as a woman, not just as a softball player. And I think that is what you need to look for in a good, any sport, what you need to look for in your collegiate program is coaches and teammates who are willing to help you grow as a human being. So I just want to say a thank you to everybody who was a part of my path, my journey.
Wow, what a career. I know she's taking her 5th year, and how are you feeling about that, being her teammate? You all seem like such a close-knit team.
Yeah, so when I first came here, Mel, we call her Mel, Amelia, she goes by Mel, she was the first one to kind of take me under her wing, so seeing her go is really sad, and at the end of the year, it's going to be depressing playing that last game and seeing her catch, and she's such a leader on the team, and she's such a motivator, so seeing her go is going to be quite depressing.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, you guys are 4th ranked, and, what are some of the pressures, that come with being, 4th ranked in the country and, being #1 ranked in the conference?
So there's always a target on our back, but we always have to go out there and always compete to our highest potential because MIAA is a hard district to play in, I guess, because everybody is a fierce competitor. I mean, you can go out there and play the number 1 and still lose we can lose to number 8. So we always have to go out there and always compete and always try our hardest is the best way to put that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brooke, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Moving on to track, UCO junior track athlete DeSanti Lide won the shot put in the OBU invite, while UCO had 9 top 10 performances. Lide competed in both days of the OBU invite. She finished 3rd in the hammer throw, hitting 45.72 meters, and 4th in the discus with 40.62 meters. She won the shot put event with a 13.45 meter throw. Their next outing will be on April 7th and 8th, where the Broncos will head to Wichita, Kansas for the KT Kudman Classic.
Now moving on to soccer, the Lady Broncos wrapped up their spring season this past weekend, finishing with an 8v8 tournament against Oklahoma Christian, MACU, and NOC. The team is stacked with 21 returners, including 2 fifth-years, Avery Holland and Amaya Grace. Speaking of Grace, before we get into her story, it's important to note that for some soccer players, the likelihood of playing in college is pretty low, let alone the likelihood of playing at 3 different colleges. Well, for Amaya Grace, that was the case. She's transferred twice in her career. To further explain, she's played at every level, first JUCO, then Division I, and finally came to UCO to play Division II. And yet, she still believes she has some unfinished business to take care of. Take a look.
For many who play at the college level, they don't plan a transfer. But for one University of Central Oklahoma women's soccer forward, Amaya Grace, her story is unique.
So right out of high school, I went to Seminole State Junior College in Seminole, Oklahoma. Played there for 2 years, did my time there, got my associate's degree. Then transferred to University of North Texas, came here, made the best friends in the world, and now I love it.
The fifth-year senior has played on all division levels in college. But when arriving at UNT, the forward had to switch positions and just simply was not happy.
I had no idea where I was going to go. I didn't know if I was going to play Division I. I wanted to. I had multiple offers to play Division I, and I think I just realized that, I know I can compete at that level, but do I want to be on a team that is not going to compete for a national tournament? I'm not maybe going to get that much playing time, or I'm going to be playing center back like I was at North Texas.
She made her decision to transfer to UCO back in 2022 by referral from her future teammate. However, her transition was not easy.
Just transferring in them is so stressful. My grades, coaches know, my grades fell. I don't know anybody at UCO. I don't know who I can turn to at this point. I'm new. I'm going through. Now my credits are going back down because I'm starting over at a new school, so that's just really stressful.
Now, since Amaya has made her impact both on and off the field at UCO, she has not looked back on her decision.
It was a blessing in disguise because now I look back on it and I'm on a team that's competing for a national tournament or national title. I'm playing. The team loves each other. We work hard. We're all close.
She is now on her last season and is trying to prove to herself and her team she did all she could to help her Broncos.
I feel like that 2 seasons were taken away. It wasn't my choice, so that's part of the reason I wanted to come back in. I feel like I have some unfinished business from last year. I feel like I did well, but didn't live up to what I expected myself to do. At least I can say I tried and did everything I could.
UCO!
And on to wrestling. Participating in the consolation semis of a national tournament is a challenging assignment, especially after an individual national championship ambitions have been destroyed and spectators have dwindled. Yet the wrestleback matches typically determine who wins the team title, as was the case in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The top-ranked Broncos placed 9 of their tournament-high 10 qualifiers in the top 7, and that significant depth was more than enough to propel UCO to its first national championship since 2007. I talked with 174-pound wrestler Alex Kaufman, one of the wrestlers who faced adversity early and fought back to help the Broncos win.
Thank you so much, Peyton. When we return, we will be talking about what is happening in other UCO spring sports. Sam Kozlowski will have that and more after the break. Stay tuned, Broncos.
men's golf team had a clutch finish that helped Central Oklahoma hang on for the team title in the Broncho Invitational that wrapped up Tuesday at the Rose Creek Golf Club. Bennett Baldwin won his first collegiate title and claimed medalist awards to make it a clean sweep. He was also named MIAA Men's Golf Athlete of the Week after his performance. UCO wraps up their regular season schedule today, April 3rd, and tomorrow the 4th at the Mule in Warrensburg, Missouri. UCO is getting ready to compete at the Southern Intercollegiate Rowing Association Championships on April 14th in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. The rowing team just took first place in both the Varsity 8+ and Varsity 4+ competitions in Florida this past weekend. The women's golf team finished 8th in the Emerald Coast Classic at the Baytown Golf Club. Micah Ramos led the way for the Broncos while finishing in 5th place. The junior remained in the top 10 for the entirety of the tournament. The Broncos will be back in action today, April 3rd, and tomorrow the 4th at the Newman Invitational in Newman, Kansas. That's all from me. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Sam. Football is oftentimes forgotten about after the national championships and Super Bowl are completed. The process of becoming a football team is made in winter off-season programs and during the spring practices. These times are vital for teams to gel. Stephon Brown is a 6'6" senior quarterback who led the Broncos in rushing touchdowns for the last 2 years. With spring football starting this week for the Central Oklahoma football team, they look to turn the page after their first winning season since 2018. I sat down in the studio with last year's starting quarterback, Stephon Brown, to talk to him about football off-season workouts, OTAs, and spring football practice ahead. Welcome. Thank you, guys. I'm here with Stephon Brown, quarterback for UCO. You're a senior, going into your senior year?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So kind of just explain how you got here before anything, how you got to UCO.
Definitely. It was a long journey. Definitely. I started my journey back in 2018, and I started back in Appalachian State and ended up moving on to JUCO out in Kansas. Ended up going to Fort Worth out of there at TCU and kind of just wanted to put my own mark somewhere and ended up finding my way here.
Awesome. So how has the offseason been for the team point of view, workouts? I know that you guys are just starting spring ball this week. Kind of go into how the weight sessions and everything went this offseason.
Definitely. I think everything just correlates to just taking the next step. That's our main thing. So in the weight room, we're trying to take that extra step. In the classroom, we're trying to take that extra step. So, and then we want to apply that all to the field. So like you said, going to the spring ball. So I feel like we're doing a good job of that, and we've been just pushing the pace a little bit more than we usually have in the past. So I think it'll work out good for us.
Mm-hmm. First spring ball practices this week.
Right.
How does it feel to get back out there with the team? What is the vibe out there this year? It's a new team, new guys, new faces, senior classes out.
Yeah.
Kind of tell us how.
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting, man. We got a lot of young talent, but at the same time, they're experienced. They got a lot of time up under their belt last year. That's what you really need in this conference. I feel like we lost to some teams who had a lot of experience. So going into this year, it seems like we'll have a lot more. So I'm just ready to see how that all translates going into this year.
So it's a whole year. It's been a whole year with this staff.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Coach Doro comes in, not really knowing what to expect from the team, and you guys really don't know what to expect from him. Kind of talk us through how it's been, a whole year with this staff.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be your first year, playing in the same offense for 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Kind of just tell us how that is for you.
Yeah, the biggest thing I would just say trust, man. Like they came in and they just asked us to trust them, and I feel like we did that last year. And like you said, just going back to what I said on taking the next step now, I feel like we just got to continue to build off what we did last year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more trust involved. Like you said, everybody knows the scheme, so I feel like that can only help us going into this year 2. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You did something pretty unique during spring ball. You went to California. You got to train with some of the top NFL prospects. A great quarterback coach.
Sure.
Kind of tell us why that is important for you going forward in this football season.
Definitely, man. It was my senior year. I felt most definitely I just needed that under my belt for experience and going to what I want to do forward in life. I feel like that would help me tremendously. And so I just got a great opportunity with a great coach, like you said, just to be around a lot of guys, soak in a lot of information.
That's Coach Calhoun, right?
Yeah, Coach Steve Calhoun out in California, and he just blessed me to be able to take some good notes down and just be a sponge, the whole week. And so hopefully I can translate that, going into my game this year.
Mm-hmm. Last spring ball,
Yeah.
Last first spring ball practice this week,
Yes, sir.
last spring ball practices of your college career.
Yeah.
Kind of tell us, how that feels. Is it surreal?
Back in high school, senior year, I kind of just took it for granted. I'm kind of just trying to take it all in one day at a time and just soak it all in. I'm definitely bummed out. It's my last one, but it's been a long road, and I'm looking forward to see what's next, how I can translate, going into these next couple weeks and just this next year. It's going to be an important year for all of us.
Welcome back. The last UCO sport we're covering is men's basketball. The Broncos finished their season 26-6 after falling to Minnesota Duluth in the opening round of the NCAA tournament right before spring break. The team finished second in the MIAA, trailing behind defending national champions Northwest Missouri. The Broncos were a force to be reckoned with going into the postseason and are ranked 12th in the nation. One key player for the Broncos is forward Preston Amon. The 6'7" sophomore finished the 2023 season averaging 7.5 points and 4.6 rebounds per game. He joins us in the studio, and I'm going to ask him a few questions about this season, the team, and his plans for next year. All right, Preston, thank you so much for being here. First, I want to say congratulations. What an amazing season, 26-6. That is very impressive. You were obviously a part of a very talented team with what it seems like a champion mindset all year round. Can you kind of explain to me what your team's mentality was like going into this season, especially after a successful previous season last year?
Yeah, we had a really great season last year, and we just wanted to continue to build on that. So going into this season, we had a national championship in mind. That didn't exactly happen, but we had nothing short of a great season. That's just a testament to our work ethic of, getting ready for the season and taking it day by day.
Great, and fast forward in the middle of the season, you're winning games and you're going up against these big teams for that championship. But we spoke a little bit before this, and you told me that you kind of felt like you guys fell short a little bit. Why do you think that is? Was it the team? It seemed like you guys were very close. What do you think? Why was that?
No, definitely team chemistry was not the issue at all. But winning a championship is very hard, across all sports. That's the case, and so for us, it wasn't about that. It was really just playing together and playing to the best of our abilities. And so the cards didn't always fall in our favor. But to piggyback what I said in the last question, it wasn't about that. It's not about championships necessarily, but it's just building those bonds with the teammates and brothers that I have and just playing together. That's what it's really about. And so we didn't get everything we wanted this year, but we're going to take it into next year, especially with the core returning group that we have, and hopefully get it done next year.
Yeah, and speaking of next year, you guys are obviously returning with a lot of returners. You only lost a couple, with some fresh new faces as well. What's the goal for you personally? I mean, you want to be a leader on the team, and also what's the goal for your team next year?
Again, just a national championship, but that comes with winning and taking those baby steps. Now, our coaches put us in the best position to win, so it's really on us to get it done, more or less. But I know with the group of guys that we have and the additions that we're bringing, we're going to be in a really good spot going into next season. And so for me personally, I just have to continue working to be a leader, for the younger guys and be that role model to give us the best chance to win.
And one last question. What was your favorite memory from this past season? I know you guys went to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's definitely up there. Just making those memories with my brothers is what it's all about, and that's something that I'll remember for a lifetime, just as they will. So that was definitely the high point of the year for me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Preston. Back to Peyton at the desk.
Thanks, Eden. And lastly, let's check in on Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder played the Phoenix Sun last night and lost 128-118 despite Shea Gilgeous-Alexander dropping 39 points on 22 shots. This was Kevin Durant's sixth game with the Suns, as they are now 6-0 when he plays. KD was hot all game, dropping 35 points on 21 shots. The Thunder, however, cannot afford to lose any more games if they are aiming for the play-in. Seeds 7 through 10 will play in the play-in tournament. If we take a look at the standings right now in the West, the Thunder sit at the 10th spot, a game behind the Minnesota Timberwolves and a game in front of the Dallas Mavericks. The West is so close that really anything could happen with 3 games remaining for the Thunder. The Thunder play the Golden State Warriors tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And really, when you look at the bottom of the West, there's only one game between the Clippers, the Lakers, the Thunder.
Everything
and the
seems so
Timberwolves.
tight.
Yes. So tight, and I know LeBron, he's getting old. People want to see him in the playoffs, and we got young talent like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander that everybody wants to see.
Yeah, just looks super competitive. The NBA is always super, super competitive, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top for sure. Well, that's all the time we have today. Tune in next week for more Broncos sport coverage, but for now, I'm Eden Jones.
And I'm Peyton Scott. We'll see you next time. Roll Chos.